ginormous buck is one of 200 such creatures being produced at a Krugersdorp factory. It's also part of the realization of this model, a minute version of one of Southern Africa's largest current building projects, Solkersner's Lost City. With December 1992 as its scheduled opening date, more than 4,000 building workers and a team of international experts are on schedule to transform 20 million bricks into a mythical fantasy. The imagined scenario is one of a tribe's escape from civilization into an exotic jungle. Specialist designer Bernardo Munoz is creating the effects envisaged by the conceptual architects.
We didn't want the sculptures of Europe or the Far East or the Middle East. We wanted Africa. We wanted to create our own architecture, and part of that became apparent as we developed the plans, required enormous and very talented ornamentation.
The inspiration was to come from the indigenous flora of the area, but to an even greater extent from Africa's pride and joy, her wild animals. The brief was to realize a combination of the Chichen Itza archaeological site built by the Mayas and Darkest Africa.
We looked around and we looked at different cultures that you have here, and we have to invent a new Atlantis basically based on the African location.
The style, which is similar to Mayan ornamentation, has an added African theme running through and works to create the legendary setting for this fantastic lost nation.
We thought of the particular tribe that was here was so advanced that everything that they built was big. That pretty much went along with their particular civilization. And they took all of the forms that they found around this area and they incorporated it into their architectural motifs. Just like the Egyptians build their columns and they use the papyrus plants, we use here the reeds and we use the palm fronds that are found in abundance around this area.
Bernardo is used to using his creative imagination and practical ability to build wonderful fantasies, but working on this scale requires specific processes. Columns are cast in fiberglass reinforced concrete. The sculptures, originally carved in polyurethane foam, have been molded and finally achieved in fiberglass. Detail is crucial for such large-scale magnification, but it's a concept Bernardo knows well from working on the film Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, starring Rick Moranis, where everything from blades of grass to trash cans had to be viewed from the perspective of the shrunken kids. This means working with the feel of the elements and transforming microscopic objects into gigantic sets.
We have to make everything look very realistic, like the water has to be very thick. I don't know if you've seen an ant inside the water, but the water becomes very thick to the ant. He cannot move around as easily as we can move in the water. You have to feel it. You want the audience to feel that they're also small. You want them to be part of that particular world at the same time.
Bernardo also worked on James Cameron's film, The Abyss, where the opposite effect had to be achieved.
Hey, how deep's the drop-off?
He created 8-meter miniatures of 300-meter boats and then went with the crew to Westport in the state of Washington to shoot some dramatic scenes from the exciting underwater adventure.
There was a hurricane happening, so we went to the place that was the biggest waves that you can find. It was a very dangerous area, and we took these miniatures and we took them in the middle of the ocean and we shot them with cameras and we added smoke. There was smoke added by other special effects people, and those scenes were later put into the movie where you can see the hurricane going on. You see how the waves and all of the elements really were affecting this movie.
Crane! We've lost the crane! It's on its way down to you!
In the movie King Kong Lives, he scaled down entire cities to allow the human-sized gorilla to achieve mind-blowing proportions in contrast. Accurate paintwork is crucial to achieve a realistic effect. At the Lost City, a mock-up area has been built in advance for the artist to practice and perfect the techniques for the most convincing results possible.
We picked a particular stone, and by using the urethane foam when we sculpt it, it has the texture already, and we age it. We crack it in a couple of areas. There's a lot of texture. There's a patina that we're going to be putting onto these pieces that will look as if they were there for hundreds of years and they've been aged and watered down and moldy and you name it.
Bernardo's experience of hotels and entertainment centers dates back to this underwater world he created for a Los Angeles hotel, another masterpiece of the 3D art that most satisfies him.
This is a more permanent item. In comparison to the video, you do it very simply, just to the visual impact to camera, which could be two-dimensional. Where here it's permanent, it has to last a very long time. which is more demanding and more crucial and is more important for the